Hi everybody, it's Sully here. I know I haven't done any videos in a while, and I haven't actually been doing any crafting because I'm working on this make, as you can see, for PAX East 2015. This is the second year in a row my friends and I will be going, and a couple of us like to go in cosplay. Last year, I went as an assassin from Assassin's Creed, and this year I'm going to bring that costume just in case, but I'm going as Zelda. From, sorry. Down you go. Go, go, go. I'm working on her armor right now, and, I have the costume. The costume's not quite done yet. It's ready to be put together. Yay! So, a couple people have asked me to tell them how I do my armor. I don't have a tutorial, and I'm really sorry about that. As you can tell, I don't have a proper camera. I use my phone, so it makes it very difficult for me to make a tutorial because I don't have a tripod. So I'm just gonna kind of explain to you how I do this. Get down, sweetheart. For those of you who have asked, obviously I'm not finished. But what you do is you take your craft foam, which is... Sorry, I hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. This is craft foam. I use the thinner stuff. And you cut out, as you can see, I cut it out. What I used was patterns. Actually, people have been thoughtful enough to post their armor patterns, and if you just do a Google search, stuff comes up, and I have used a couple people's patterns that they posted up there. So to whomever posted those patterns, thank you very much, I love you, because drawing is not my forte. And then you put it on top of the foam, trace it onto the foam. As you can see, I used a red pen, and cut it out, cut the base piece out as the whole piece, like you can see here. I'll use this one because this one's dry. The base piece is just one whole piece, and then on top of that, I got out the design as also one piece. And in order to get into these little nooks and crannies, I use X-Acto knife. These actually work really well, except when you go to do like circles and stuff, it's a little more difficult. But if you're just doing a gradual curve, they really work well on, I can speak, on craft foam. And then I also have these. I love these. I use these for fussy cutting for scrapbooking. And I think these are recollection scissors. But they're really smooth, they're really fine, and they have, I don't know if you can see that because my camera's not really focusing on it, but they have like a pointed tip so you can poke in there and really get in there. And I really like these, so I use these for the finer details that I can't use the X-Acto knife for. And then you just glue that on top. You can use hot glue, which I use a lot, or if you're not comfortable with that, because the hot glue does dry faster, and a lot of what is taking time with this build is dry time. It doesn't take time to put it together, I'm not kidding you, it's really easy. It's the drying time that takes forever. So I also use this. It's like a tacky craft bond that works, but I started out using this in the beginning, but because you can move stuff around a little bit before it starts to dry. But if you're quick enough with the hot glue, you can do that too. So it's really up to you. And then once you get everything together and it dries on there, your next step is to start coating it and to start shaping it. In order to shape craft foam, you really kind of need a heat gun. I was trying to use my iron. My craft table's a mess. Isn't this awesome? It's a mess. But it wasn't quite shaping as much as I needed it to. So what I did was I bought craft wire and I adhered it to the back. You can see that. And then what I'm going to do is, after I finish all the coatings, I'm going to cover that up with felt so that it doesn't poke me or come apart or anything like that. So that actually really helped me to be able to bend it and shape it the way that I need to, because this is a top of a pauldron right here, and then these are the bottoms, so I needed those to shape a little bit too. And then you want to coat it. Now, to coat it, there are a couple of different ways that people do this, and I probably do more steps than are necessary because I'm a perfectionist and I want it to look good when I'm done, and I just skipped a step, and I apologize. So, another thing that I use before you coat it is this stuff. They're actually glossy accents, and they're really sticky. You could use them as glue too. There's really no reason, but they hold their dimension. So what I do is, in order to soften those edges so that they don't appear quite so harsh, I put glossy accents inside all of these edges just to round them, soften them up a little bit, and then let that dry. So I do that. That's one of my steps that other people probably don't do. But anyway, so there's a couple different ways that people coat these. I coat it entirely in glue, which is, there's a lot of reasons why. It is going to make everything much firmer. It's going to give it that shiny finish that you want, because once you paint it, you want it to look like metal, and if you don't coat the foam in something, it's going to soak up the paint and it's going to look like foam. It's not going to look like metal, so you have to coat it in something. I use this. It's Martha Stewart Crafts. Okay, I'm sorry, my camera's not focusing. It's Martha Stewart Crafts decoupage glue and glitter, and it has a brush in it. Like the top, it's already a brush. So that's very handy. You don't have to ruin one of your paintbrushes. And I just paint that on and let that dry. And then once that's done, and once that's done, you want to put a couple coats of this on there. Now, obviously there are different types of this in different brands. What I managed to find was the Krylon Crystal Clear. You can probably find more options. See, I got this at the craft store. You can probably find more options at somewhere like Lowe's or Home Depot. But I'm using this. It's the Crystal Clear acrylic coating. And it's permanent, moisture resistant, dries in minutes coating. And you just spray that on there. You have to do it in a specific, it smells, my apartment smells now. But the way that I do it is I take these boxes, and these, you can see I have one in here. This is a canning box. And I go in my bathroom and I line my bathtub with plastic bags, and I put everything down in there and I spray it in the bathroom, and then put the overhead fan on and a regular fan and shut the door to keep the smell in until everything is dry. And then I go back in and I recoat it. And I do it a couple of times because I really want to make sure it's gonna hold. But it's entirely up to you how many times you do it. And then on top of that coating, once I'm happy with the coating, is going to go a couple coats of acrylic paint. And then I'm going to antique it a little bit to make it look a little bit used. And then I'm going to coat it again to make sure my paint doesn't peel. I'm going to coat it like maybe once or twice, probably twice, just to make sure I get coverage. To make sure that my paint doesn't peel. And I will make another, I'll post pictures of the armor when it's finished. But right now it's drying from the coating of glue, as you can see. And you can see I have all my pieces. I have my pauldron pieces that I still have to figure out how I'm going to hook those together. The belt, the chest piece, the crown, the hair piece, and all the fun stuff, some of which I still need to back in wire. And then I have, all the embellishments that are going to be on there. But I'll take pictures or maybe make another video when that's done. But for the people who have asked, I hope that that wasn't too strange of an explanation of how I do this. So I hope it helps. It's really not hard at all. It's not even overly time consuming, because most of what you are waiting for is for things to dry. And I tend to play video games when I'm waiting for things to dry, I'm not gonna lie. So I hope that helps everybody. I hope nobody was too busy by my camera handling techniques, because like I said, this is my phone, and it's Saturday morning, so I hope everybody's having a nice weekend. Okay, bye!